The Browns finished the season 6-10. It was worse than they did last year, which was 7-8-1. I want to give my thoughts on the season, where I think things went wrong, and what's going to happen moving forward. Now, before I do that, I'll talk about a little bit of last season. Last season, we finished the season 7-8-1. Doesn't sound great, but it was a huge improvement from going 1-15, 0-16. Baker just broke the touchdown record. Nick Chubb looked incredible. Denzel Ward looked absolutely amazing. He was a Pro Bowler. We hired Freddie Kitchens as the head coach, the guy who is behind Baker's success. And then we traded for OBJ. We signed Kareem Hunt. We signed some free agents. Things are looking great. And what happened? We finished the season worse than what we did before. My football brain is gone to mush. How can that happen? What the hell happened? Did not think I'd be making this video. I thought I'd be making a playoffs preview for the Browns. But here I am talking about the next season, new head coach, new GM. So what the hell happened? So what I think went wrong with the season is three things, but they all correlate with each other. It's like a spinning wheel or like a pyramid. It all connects. I think the main issue, the main problem was hiring Freddie Kitchens, and then the extremely high expectations that we had, which created us overlooking issues we had with this team and this front office. With all those combined, that gets you 6-10. That gets you out of the playoffs. And that gets you a very angry fan base. And it seems like nothing's ever going to get better. But I'll get deeper into this. So first thing I want to talk about is the high expectations. Extremely high expectations. I am no victim. I thought we were going to win the AFC. I think mostly everyone that wasn't a Browns fan saw this roster and thought, this team is definitely going to make a playoffs. The Browns might actually be good. Holy shit, the Browns are going to be good. Wow. But it all came crashing down. And the thing is, there are people who predict this to happen. They overlooked the hype. They looked at the team, the front office, the coaches, everything, and said, I don't think that's going to work out. That's not going to mesh well. They are not going to make the playoffs. I give them credit. Unless you're a Steelers fan, I give you nothing. I give you goddamn nothing then. But like I said, I'm not innocent to this. I thought there was no way we could be bad. And because of that, that's why we overlooked a lot of the issues with this team. First one, Freddie Kitchens. When we first hired Freddie Kitchens, the first thing I thought was, wow, this is the guy who made Baker Baker. This guy's going to call these crazy offensive plays. This guy's going to be amazing. We're going to have the best offense in the NFL. Holy shit, this cannot go wrong. A little voice in my head, and it probably happened in all your guys' heads too, was telling you, he was just a quarterback's coach. He's been offensive coordinator for half a season. Now he's a head coach? Sounds like he doesn't have much experience. And the little voice in your head was right. And that's what happened. And we overlooked that because of how much hype was going into the season. I honestly will say this. If Freddie wasn't our head coach and we had someone who was competent, or at least somewhat all right, I'm not going to say we'd make the playoffs, because that's a stretch. But we would have won at least one of those close games. One of them. Like in the beginning of the season. I swear we lost every game that came down to the wire. I think we lost every single one, except for the Bills game. We did win the Bills game, but that's it, I think. So I do think one of those games would have went the other way. The one I specifically think about that would have went the other way, I think, is the Seattle game, because if that was coached properly, we probably would have won that game. And I don't think we would have given up towards the end of the season. I don't know if we would have made the playoffs, but I do think we would have gone 8-8 or 9-7. Maybe I'm just being a blind Browns fan again, because I do that every year. Maybe that's just me being stupid. That's just how I feel. And also with Baker, I will say this. I do think with a competent head coach, Baker would have been better. I'm not saying he would have been an MVP or even a top 10 quarterback. I will say he would have been a lot better. I'm not going to fully blame Freddie for Baker not playing well this year. A lot of it is Baker's fault. He didn't progress at all. He actually took a step back. But I will say, though, even though Freddie is the one who developed Baker, essentially, it seemed like he didn't really know what to do to help Baker out. He kept calling these plays where it seemed like receivers didn't know where the hell to go, plays that would take way too long to progress, where we have this bad offensive line and Baker would basically have like 1 second to react. You have to scramble out, throw either a pick or incompletion. Freddie never learned to start calling plays with the short passing routes that Baker was really good at in college and his rookie season. So I don't know why they stepped back from that. Maybe because they have OBJ now and like Kareem Hunt and stuff, and they were trying to go for the big money ball every single play. I don't know. You can't do that. You can't call plays like I call goddamn Madden plays. It's stupid. It's never gonna work out. And that's how Freddie called a lot of this season, is like he was playing Madden, like that Seahawks game that I was just talking about. I heard he like tried to save time so that they would score a touchdown with like a minute left in the half, and then stop Seattle, and then try and score again, but end up Baker throwing a pick in the red zone and Seattle scoring, and then they gain the ball back at half, and we were doomed by that. So a lot of that has to do with Freddie just being a complete dumbass. But I gotta say, Baker did not look very comfortable, very good this year. Maybe whoever we hire next will be able to mesh with him better. It's just crazy for me to say that because everyone keeps giving Freddie credit for Baker being good, but like seemed like this year he had no idea what to do with Baker. But that's another thing we kind of glossed over and tried to overlook, was Baker being bad. Baker's second year struggles. A lot of people told me they were like, Baker might have a bad second year, and I said there's no way because of the weapons we have. Because the weapons on paper might be the most talented offense in the NFL. You got OBJ, Jarvis, Rashard Higgins that we never played. I know that's Freddie's fault. We never played. Hopefully play him next season. But god damn it, Freddie, I don't know why you play for Jarvis. And then Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. God, that temper tantrum made me lose my train of thought. Kind of sweaty now too. Oh, right. Baker's second year struggle. So I said with that roster, those weapons, there's no way he could, take a step back. There's no way he won't progress this season. Obviously, I was wrong. It's me ignoring the facts. A lot of people are telling me Freddie's a rookie head coach and you guys have a bad offensive line. They're all things we all ignored. We just chose to ignore it, maybe because we were so excited about the hype. We're so excited the Browns are finally going to be good again. That's what we can't do next season. We can't ignore the obvious issues. And then, like, the little things. Like, OBJ was missing OTAs. I remember we all talked about, like, oh, he's a veteran. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. It's okay if he misses OTAs. That's for rookies and sophomores or whatever. But looking back at it, he probably should have won. He would have gained a better chemistry with Baker, better connection with the team. He probably should have went to those OTAs. Hopefully this offseason, they all go to every single possible practice and more to become the best they possibly can be. I hope they do that. But yeah, the reasons I think the season failed was because of Freddie's the main reason. But that has to do with us blindly not looking at our issues that we have. Because like I said, a lot of us are like, oh, Freddie's going to be fine. It doesn't matter. He has no experience at all. He's going to be fine. Whatever. Blah. And then the high expectations. With all that combined, that really made the season end in a train wreck because everyone was all upset about the expectations not being there. Freddie being so incompetent, they didn't want to play for him anymore. And now the issues were slapping us in the face. It didn't really matter. Everyone just sort of gave up at the end of the season. Now, I know everyone will say, oh, Myles Garrett got suspended. Maybe if he played, we would have won out. I don't know. Probably wouldn't have happened. It just seemed like there was so much going behind the scenes that we really don't know about. There still are things. It's just so weird to hear about the front office stuff now. And I'll get into that now. So it's so Browns for this to happen, where we finally fire Freddie. Good move, smart move. I think it's going to pay off very well that we fired him. But then we part ways with John Dorsey. I don't know if he got fired or they said he was going to get fired or John Dorsey got pissed off at the team. I think what I heard was they told him that they're going to pick the head coach, and John said no, eat shit, and so they parted ways. I will see both sides of this. John Dorsey, he has given us the most talent we've ever seen on this team. I don't know how you part ways with him. I just don't get it. Now, the other side. I am reading that he's very difficult to work with. He wants to basically handpick everything, coaches everything, even if ownership doesn't agree with it. And he picks people that are yes men, people who won't question John's authority or anything like that. Kind of like what happened to Kansas City. I think what I heard was he got fired because they basically had to choose between him or Andy Reid because they wouldn't get along. Obviously, you got to pick Andy Reid. So I do understand why you would want to fire him then in that sense. Now, I did read a report that Josh McDaniels wasn't going to come to Cleveland at all if John Dorsey was there. So I understand why you fire him in that sense if you're trying to get a good head coach that you really want. But it's just hard to fire John Dorsey when he got you so much talent. It obviously isn't meshing well, but I don't think that's John Dorsey's fault. I think that is on the coaches and the players. You kind of have to find someone that can connect all that. Sounds like John Dorsey is maybe being stubborn too, but I don't know. I just find it really hard to fire John Dorsey. Wow. I don't know how you do that. Before I record this video, the most recent article I saw was the Browns are going to pick a coach before the GM. Now, I don't know the history behind that. I don't know what the success rate is when you pick a head coach before a GM. I have no idea. I just find it odd, I guess, both ways. Like, you pick the head coach, wouldn't your new GM want to pick a head coach too, or at least have a say? You know? I don't know. I think that's kind of weird. Moving forward, the head coaches, sounds like we're doing McCarthy, Josh McDaniels, the Ravens offensive coordinator, this 49ers defensive coordinator. If you want my pick, probably Josh McDaniels. I think he's from Ohio or Cleveland or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like he is in that Belichick system. I know like a lot of people have and they failed. I just feel like he would do a good job. McCarthy, yes, would do a good job too. I think he's had success with Aaron Rodgers and stuff. But they only got one Super Bowl appearance with him, with Aaron Rodgers. You know, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Granted, I do think that had to do with not getting very good pieces for the roster. But still, a lot of people think McCarthy wasted a Rodgers in his prime. I think McCarthy would work out in Cleveland. I think Josh McDaniels would. Those are my two best options, I would say. Those are the two people I would want. I'd be happy with those two people. So hopefully that will happen. I know they're interviewing this week, so fingers crossed. Moving forward, I think the things we can look back on that were good this season was Nick Chubb was incredible. We're going to get Myles Garrett back at some point. It should be the beginning of the season, but who knows what's going to happen with that. And hopefully this offseason we can draft or sign some sort of offensive lineman to make that line better, maybe even get a safety too. Fix the problems with the team moving forward. That means we'd have to get a good GM. Hopefully we do. And then hopefully we can just work really hard in the offseason. Something Lamar Jackson did. He had a lot of criticism about how he can't throw the ball. So what do you do in the offseason? He gained 20 pounds of muscle, and now he can sling the shit out of the ball. So hopefully our team does something like that, where they just put their heads down, they don't listen to the media, they just grind out, and they get ready for next season with a new head coach that hopefully is good, and a GM that can draft and put a good team together. Hopefully Jimmy and D can figure this shit out. I hope they don't go back to their old ways where they listen to their own brains, because their own brains don't know what to do. They clearly don't know what to do. So if they keep listening to their own brains this season and the seasons to come and it's a disaster again, they should just sell the team, have someone else figure it out. Like, cut their goddamn losses. They're billionaires, whatever. Just go hang out on a beach and just enjoy life. Don't worry about the Browns anymore. Have someone else worry about the Browns, please. At least going into this next season, I'll say this. There will be expectations. There will be. But I don't think they'll be nearly as high as they were at the beginning of this season. And I think that's going to be very helpful. There's less pressure next season than there was at the beginning of this season. So maybe that'll help out Baker and OBJ and all of them just being the underdogs again. So Browns have always been the underdogs. And that goes to my last point. I said at the beginning of my video, high expectations was one of our biggest downfalls, and I agree. I was blind to this. I thought the Browns could be good overnight, become contenders overnight. Granted, last season was like the stepping stone maybe to start becoming contenders. With the Browns, we're just not going to be good overnight. We have such a history of being such dog shit. It's going to take a while. But I do still think we're in the right steps. We're in the right direction. We have the roster. We just need to find the people that can manage it properly and win us some games. I don't think it's the Haslams. I don't think they're the people to figure it out. So hopefully whatever coach and GM we get will figure it out. Like I said before, if the Haslams start making decisions with their brains, we are so screwed. So there it is. There are my thoughts on the 2019 Browns season. Didn't think this video would be like this. I thought we'd be doing a playoffs preview. But we Browns fans can never have nice things ever. So like I say, every goddamn year, there's next season. So the 2019 Browns season, please let me know what you guys thought of this disastrous season and what's going to happen next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and click here to see more of Davey Dave's Takes.